Thanks for staying with us. So the whole of Nigeria is talking about yesterday's tribunal judgment. Everybody's discussing it, but as I said, until your view discusses it, it hasn't really been discussed because we are the show that Nigerians look towards to hearing the views of Nigerians. So please call us on the numbers on your screen. We'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Not just the technical part of it, because we already know what the judgments are. There are five key points that I said earlier, but just for a quick review, all 5 members of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal yesterday in Abuja unanimously affirmed Bola Tinubu as a validly elected president of Nigeria, a decisive judicial resolution of the credibility questions that have hovered around the elections for the past 6 months. And I said earlier there were 5 key points. Let me just state that out very quickly. The 25% in Abuja, taking 25% in Abuja doesn't mean that it's not mandatory for victory because Abuja residents don't have a special status. They're just Nigerians like everybody else. Secondly, APC lacks the local standing to challenge Obi's LP candidacy because it's an internal party issue. It doesn't concern the tribunal. The EU report was not tenable because the author of the report didn't provide it to the court properly, to the proceedings properly for usage as evidence. Thirdly, Tinubu's forfeiture of cash in the U.S. is not criminal because, according to them, 2003, they got a letter that was initiated by the Inspector of General Police requesting directly from the U.S. at the time if it was a criminal offense. And you're saying, according to that report, it still stands that it's not criminal. And finally, transmission of poll results at INEC portal is discretional because, according to the Electoral Act, INEC is independent and they can actually decide which method they use in collation and also their own discretion in deciding how the results are transmitted. So the electronic was an addition, but it was not the primary tool of collation. Either way, the president's victory has been affirmed. But aside from these 5 key points, what are your own observations about the tribunal? 12 hours. The tribunal took 12 hours, started at 9:27 on the dot. I would watch the time when it started, and it finished at 10:01 p.m.
Wow.
last night. So almost 13 hours, actually, but let's just say 12 hours. So and we saw so many things. People said some people were sleeping, some people were yawning. In fact, I saw a few things, but we'd like to hear from Nigerians. What did you see? What did you hear? What are your thoughts on the entire proceedings? Call us on 081-764-1679, 090-241-63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. YK, let me start with you. What did you see? What did you hear?
First and foremost, I hardly watched it. Every time I put on the TV, it was there. I saw them. Everyone. You see those black gowns and wigs? It's still the vestiges of colonialism. Mm. We are not thinking like Africans. Why are you still... In America, they have drummed their own wig and gown. It's Africa. Why are we still wearing wig and gown? Eh?
Not wig, like a blonde wig. Blonde. Not just wig, it's blonde.
Then it's curls. and they're all sitting down there like penguins. I was like, come on.
YK, this is our lawyer. Let us respect our judiciary.
I'm sorry. I respect you. You are fantastic people. I'm just saying, shouldn't we start to drop those colonial structures and
accoutrements?
You know? And then they all sat down there, and nobody is mourning anybody. They all sat down there in black. And every time I put my TV on, that's what I saw. Switch it off again. In fact, when the part took light, I was even happy.
Let me come
when
to
he
you.
came back, wait, I haven't finished. When he came back, they were still there. I said, I will look at the time. 6 o'clock, running. I let me watch my favorite, journalist hangout.
They are still on it.
They are still on it. Another one, they're still on it. Irony. I said, these people. Then I now started to watch them. They were sleeping. There was one particular guy, the camera was on him, and he was doing. Then he realized he realized that
The camera may be on him.
the camera may be on him, so he carried his phone. And he did like this. He now proceeded to sleep. And my nephew and I were watching. We were laughing. Look, he has slept. There's another woman, when they caught her like this, she has woken up from her deep slumber. Then I was wondering, the judges, are they not sleeping too?
No,
If lawyers are
They have to
sleeping,
read.
Because they're following each other as they're reading every word. Let me come to Mariam. Your words. What are your observations?
I watched it. As you know, I didn't watch, of course, the whole thing.
of course.
I didn't watch the whole thing, and also my daughter was watching as well. Poor child. She felt she kept asking questions. So at first I thought, my God, such a smart child. She wants to know more. In the end, she said, have they finished now? Can I change the channel? But she was like, why is it taking so long? I used the opportunity to educate her. And let me tell you what I said so that you tell me if I did well. I said there's so many things that the judges have to take one after the other. And I said an example of her and her brother when they come and report each other to me. I said, how do you feel when I say, okay, it's okay, sorry, and go? You don't like it. You want me to take every single complaint and listen to it and then explain it and break it down. Doesn't that make you feel better? She said, yes. I said, so that's what they have to do. And they have so many complaints on their table right now. I don't want anyone to feel bad, like they were not
some
really
people still felt bad now.
Yes, but I saw all those who were sleeping. I knew that, I said yesterday that this thing can be quite boring and lengthy. But if you are part of the, if you're part of it, you would, you have no choice but to be, to pay attention. But I can imagine how long.
So those ones that were sleeping, okay?
It happens here. Let me tell you the ones that I felt bad for. The lawyers that were representing LP and PDP. When they had already started hearing that it's been cancelled, but they still had to sit to the end of it. If it's not going my way, I'll get up and leave. But you can't even leave. You have to sit down and listen to this thing throughout. But I feel that it's important that we listen to things like this, We make a lot of conversations, not really knowing facts.
Yeah.
And things like this afford us the opportunity.
People still don't know
afford us the opportunity. See, I said yesterday that there's a way that judges speak. Most of it I don't understand, but I was watching it and reading analysis. The TV stations were also giving like short summaries of what was happening, So I was able to keep, to keep abreast of what was happening. But I must admit, it was quite long and boring.
That's why I have to ask you a question. Can't they write it, give it to us to read, those of us that are interested in reading 12 hours of proceedings, to read by ourselves? Then they do it in 2 hours. They are
show us like the conclusion, the summary.
So you that you are interested in the 12 hours, go and read it. You that you are not.
That's what the guy who objected.
Wait. This is Nigeria. It's a lie. What did they write? As long as you not hear it from their mouth, you say these people, they went and reprinted they doctored it. They reprinted something else.
The answer.
That was not what they said in court. Why did we broadcast it? It never used to be. It was demanded. Nigerians demanded that it be broadcast. So that you can see it. Now they realize that it's not like Matlock, where
Nigerians
will come and give
it
takes a whole
but they didn't broadcast.
You can't do that. That's to be irresponsible.
Yeah.
But
the thing
you
is,
now know the faces of all the witnesses. That would be unfair on private citizens.
It was good. Now you understand what it takes, how long it takes. That not everything is usually about trying to hoodwink somebody or change something.
We'll still come to the intricacies of the tribunal, but I'd like to just hear your observation. I mean, I saw. I don't know. I think I'm the only person that saw this part of this whole thing. The lawyers at the front said, I think it's maybe the LP lawyers, they were really hungry, and the guy, there's a lady and a guy next to it. So he had biscuits, and he offered her biscuit. And as he offered her the biscuit, she realized that the camera is on. She now pushed it down. Don't come and embarrass us here now. She now put the biscuit under the table. Obviously, wasn't picking one or two. But when she was about to put it in her mouth, the camera took it away. I was like so angry. This thing have captured.
They have like a recess?
No,
they probably had break time. They probably had break time. But they will start up and excuse themselves. But I saw the fact that she actually pressed his hand down because the green wrapper showed on camera, and she pushed his hand down. We don't embarrass us here.
The reason the camera didn't stay was they didn't want to embarrass them.
Of course.
Because the cameraman was hungry.
So the thing is, it looked Herculean for us because it's not our thing, right? But for lawyers and judges, that's all they prepare for. That's their life.
Sending in my text.
Hail her.
They find another profession.
You know, that's their job. That's what they are there for, and that's their time to shine. So they must listen, even when the other parties are not really getting the wins. They will be there to listen, because also remember that if they have to go for an appeal, some of the things they hear would also be what they would, pile up to do their appeal. So it's their thing, it's their job. We respect them for that. But you cannot expect me, an ordinary citizen, to sit down for 12 hours and be listening to that. I want the summary in text. I'm not going to be asking whether they doctored it or not. I trust that the judiciary, by the time they release the proceedings and everything, I will get the summary. That works for me. And the fact that sort of calmed a lot of people. I saw some videos, yes, some people. I saw some videos where some persons were drumming and dancing and gloating.
Yeah, gloating.
Please
gloat respectfully.
Do we need to gloat?
Exactly.
Don't gloat.
It's our country together.
Democracy won, not you.
Not you. Not your party.
Exactly.
Not your party. And the fact also that they had to focus on the facts and evidence. So this is not about prejudice. This is not about what we think should be. This is not the ideal. It's about, are you able to defend your case? Okay, in this one, what did you present? What did you bring? It's facts. We need to begin to work with
I like where you're taking us to BNBC, because I think what I got from this entire proceeding, which I'll come to ladies, is I think now, aside from the emotional part of the elections, we need to see how important it is to gather proper evidence.
Yes, so
it's not about saying, come and vote, yeah, just pose and take picture. No, we need to educate our electorate. How do we responsibly get evidence that is tenable in court? Who can explain to us what is right? What should have been done better? One of the issues LP had, they didn't have enough agents in polling units to have evidences of overvoting or maybe duplications here. They didn't have enough enough agents. So you're saying that, they falsified here, they falsified. Show me evidence of it. You don't have anybody to have it. So it was quite painful, because I was looking for a very nice and robust argument. Even if the LP did not win, but come with something that I show that, yes, I have this. These are important documents that would strengthen our democracy. But with this, I was even embarrassed when I saw some of these things.
Yeah, they said a lot of things were based on hearsay.
Yeah.
Of course, the tribunal needed much more than that to go on. But for me, I was going to say also, it gave me a better appreciation for our judiciary.
Yeah.
To even see the way the lawyers conducted themselves before the judges. I mean, do you remember a particular lawyer that stood up and said he was confused and interrupted the judge? And they said to him, first of all, I think it was an insult to them, first of all, that they are passing judgment and then you stand up to interrupt them. And then eventually, he seemed so afraid when they were talking to him. He was like, I'm not confused anymore. I'm like, see how
somebody's father. Somebody's father.
The judges. So this process, we see them too much. We call them out anyhow. We should be careful. It's highly respectable and respectful profession. So we commend you to see the hours that they spent, even just sitting there through the tiredness. And
was there any recess?
Did you see the chief counsel for LP, the chief counsel, Michael Zekome? Those ones don't stand up. I don't remember seeing Mike standing up for 1 second. And even there's some people who did not. They sat through it. I mean, I watched most of it. I only missed about 3 hours because from a party I went to. But I sat, I watched it, and I saw these people. They don't stand up. This one, Kashim Shettima, the vice president, he also did not sleep. I saw him. He stood up eventually at some point, but he was there alert. His eyes were wide open.
But should we call out the cameraman? Why now?
No, it's content.
You see someone dozing off. Why do you now zoom on the person and take a...
That's content.
If you are sleeping, you are sleeping.
I just feel that if I'm the cameraman and I see someone dozing off, I will quickly take it.
Okay, let me go.
If I was the cameraman, is that person sleeping? Go.
That's why you're not the cameraman. That's why you're not the cameraman. Let me go on a break. When we come back, we'll open our phone lines to hear Nigerians' views on it. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still talking about yesterday's judgment. But you see, this sleeping thing we were talking about earlier, in fairness to them, I think in the afternoon, I didn't see much people sleeping. The sleeping happened much earlier in the day, and I think it's probably they had breakfast. when you have a heavy breakfast, knowing that, okay, you guys need a lot of energy for the whole day. So they went in there fed. So it's possible that was what caused the sleeping, because by afternoon, everybody was awake and alert towards the day. So I think that's probably what caused the sleeping. Yes,
I watched it in the night. I saw the guy I saw sleeping was in the night with one woman like this. That when they woke up, she was it was in the night. Me, I saw them sleeping. I didn't watch it during the day.
There was a lady that was nodding. She was nodding like she was, I'm listening to what you're saying. But we could see that she was just
But there are two things that I think that we've not touched on. And as regards observation, the cameras didn't face the judges.
That's what I was asking. We didn't see the judges.
Yeah, because I think that's also maybe, I don't know if that was intentional, because I saw the cameramen sitting on the floor and they're facing the crowd or the audience, not the actual judges. I'm not sure why that was. Probably
I think there are codes of conduct for that sort of profession. There's a way they give them their respect, So putting the judges in, normally they would have refused this to be even transmitted live, but they had to allow because of the peculiarity of the Nigerian problem, yes. But then facing the judges, making them some sort of celebrities, not in their... I just believe it's not what they would prefer, especially with their code of conduct. And I know that even back in school when you're studying law, there's a way they separate themselves from the regular students. There are some things they cannot be caught doing. There are some colors they cannot be caught wearing. You understand? So it's something that I believe is part of what they do to protect the sanctity of that.
Let me take a few comments. I have this from Otumba Karim. Says that, good morning, ladies. Yesterday's judgment was epoch-making. Aside Obafemi Awolowo's treason trial, it was the longest. It was deep, factual, down-to-earth, and energy-sapping. Kudos to the learned jurists. Most importantly, let me single out the lady jurist. She was unapologetic, factual, and spared no one. She called the spade by its name. The icing on the cake was the live telecast that in a way served many purposes, very educative for those who wish to learn, remove doubts and half-truths, and douse tension in the land.
Thank
you. Do you agree that it doused tension? Because, people thought that once you hear the judgment, there might be rioting and protest out there. That's why we had security spread across. But I think the fact that the judgment was quite detailed, whether every layman could understand the reasoning behind each judgment, like it was laid out in plain terms that you that are even listening, they want to go and protest outside, you just think that, are you sure they don't have evidence? Are you sure that the witnesses, out of 13, only 3 were tenable, and even the 3 self, you are now thinking, for me to go and protest, let me be sure I know what I'm protesting, because it made it very crystal clear to what we are dealing with here.
Yes, that helped, definitely. Because you know that many of us, we get off stories from each other and from social media, and we know as human beings, we embellish some, we exaggerate a bit.
Yes.
But with the courts or at the tribunal, you heard the facts. And you had the lawyers that were involved in pleading the case from the get-go all seated there. So they were also aware of, what was being read. But also there is the option, which I hear one of the party or both parties would be taking, which is they would appeal it. They don't necessarily have to accept it, So it dealt the tension for so many people who did not know for sure what the facts were. Now you listen for yourself. There's always something, when you listen to something for yourself, you now get context and you're like, and I was angry before. Now I'm not, okay, now I get it. So there was that, but then there's also the fact that there are people who are strong loyalists, die-hard loyalists, who there's nothing that would change their minds. Yeah. They believe what they believe, and they will still go through the course until they find some sort of justice.
That's where what I need to ask, because from what you're saying, you watched it, I didn't.
Yeah, most of it.
Everything they said made everything seem crystal clear to you. But the lawyers are still saying, no.
Yeah.
They're going to challenge it.
Absolutely.
So if they are going to challenge it, what you heard and what they heard, was it different?
No. We'll come to that in a second. Let me take this call. Ayo's been holding from first time. Good morning, Ayo. Thanks for calling.
Good morning, Morayo, and the beautiful ladies in the studio.
Yes.
I'm not a new caller. I've called for.
I can't hear them.
The tennis player. Hello?
Yes, go ahead, sir. We can hear you.
I'm the tennis player. I called once before.
It's okay. Welcome to the show.
I just want to congratulate President Tinubu because he is a product of my university. I went to Chicago State University. I played lawn tennis for Chicago State University. I was a tennis captain. So on behalf of those of us around that went there to Chicago State University, I say congratulations to President Bola Tinubu.
All right, thank you, sir.
So I wanted to respond to YK to say the difference between the lawyers who want to go back and appeal the case and us is that nobody's paying us for anything. We are now making decisions, informed decisions based on the facts presented and explained to us, right? But the lawyers have a job to do. They are paid to defend their clients. They will tell you that even if a lawyer knows that this person is a thief, as long as the person is, paying, this is a client I have to defend, you will find all the loopholes. You will find it. However, you will listen to things said and not said. You will see beyond what is being presented just because you have a strong case and you are there to defend your client. So I will not use the lawyers to say, because they are going to be appealing, that means everything was not spelled out. They are doing a job and they have been paid for that job. And it will seem like they have failed in defending their clients if they don't go back.
In addition to that, the Constitution is mostly about interpretation. So if I feel that the judges in the tribunal did not properly interpret it based on my petition, I can take it to Supreme Court for a better interpretation. So, for example, you are saying that INEC is independent and it's their discretion to choose how they plan to collate. It can be manual or you can through IRF. That's their own interpretation. The Supreme Court can think otherwise. That, you know what, because you've already said it, that you're going to use electronic, it means that you must be held to that. So there are different interpretations. Depends. So it is within their own right to look for, to go to the Supreme Court, and we'll see how that goes. I think I have a caller. Good morning, are you there? Are they calling from London? You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, I'm calling from Jos.
Morning.
Yeah.
Morning.
My own contribution, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show, Ade.
Actually, I've been trying to contribute to the program for the past 2 years when I was in the UK and tried, but unfortunately I couldn't. I think what happened yesterday was, for me, it was an eye-opener to everybody, and it shows that because I've been following a lot of comments on the social media, and what it shows to me that Nigeria is sharply divided along religious, ethnic, and other primordial sentiments. If we are to be rational with the case yesterday, you discover that the lawyers on the side of the Labour Party and the PDP have not really done their homework very well. And if you look at the ruling, the ruling of the judges, you see that they were so detailed. For every statement, they cited a lot of cases, a lot of laws to back it up. So as far as I'm concerned, I think they are saying that they want to go to the Supreme Court is just a waste of exercise, because the ruling they gave yesterday was very detailed, very detailed to me. And I think my advice for the parties is just to go back and start preparing for 2027. Thank you.
I read somewhere that one of the witnesses had downloaded evidence from Amazon, stuff like I'm thinking, this is a tribunal that you need hard evidences, something that you can pick, this is what happened, and you have pictures of evidence, not something you just put online. So, as I said, I really was looking forward to a robust hearing that, these are the facts that were presented, and based on that, either way, I really wanted, but as I said, I was personally disappointed. I really hope that maybe the Supreme Court can have a better, a different interpretation. We'll see how that goes. But let me go on a break. We're bringing a lawyer, because we're just gisting about our observations. I also observed we didn't really have any southeastern judge in the list. Is it,
that's
right? Is that true? I thought I observed. So if it's for the optics, it would be nice to have somebody from the southeast at least represented.
You have to get to that point.
I mean, I'm just saying that it's
you can't get from a pool.
Yeah.
So you have to have qualified.
So it's who you already have within that pool.
Yeah, I think so.
When the lawyer comes,
we'll find out.
We'll find out when the lawyer. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll have our guest who's a lawyer and probably can shed more light on this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.